Hello everyone and welcome back in another video. In today's video I am going to explain the if function. If function is very important. It's a type of functions in Excel, one of the most important functions in Excel. So the first of all, why we need to use if function. Usually we're using if function if we have a condition and we have to check this condition. If it is true, if it is correct, we need to do something, otherwise do another thing. Like this one. Now here I have this table and I have here like a question. Here it's like a question. So I need to do what? A result here. I have marks for computer. I said here if the computer, the marks for computer here less than or equal 49, or maybe we can say less than 50 for example, we need to type result. In the result we need to type F or fail for example. Otherwise, if it is greater than, if the marks of computer greater than 49, we need to type in result if. So in the question you can understand everything. We have two choices. If the first one is correct, we need to type something. If the second one is correct, we need to type another thing. So the syntax of if function will be like this. So of course equal, because we need to type a formula or function. Now it's function, so equal. Then the name of the function, which is here if function. Now if you just open the bracket and close it, or only open the bracket, if you forget the syntax of the if function and what we should use inside if function, what we should put inside the if function, here there's like a hint, so you can find everything you want. So if function contains what here? Logical test. The first thing is the logical test, and then we need to add a comma. After that, value if true, and then comma, and value if false. So if function, inside if function we can add only three parameters or three arguments, you can say. So here the first one should be the logical test. Logical test should be what? I mean the biological test is greater than, for example we have a number, this number greater than or less than or greater than or equal, less than or equal, and so on. So we have a logical test here, the first one. After that you can add a comma, and then here value if true. So this logical test, if it is true, we need to add a value, add something, anything, formula or static value or anything. Otherwise we have a comma again, and then value if false. So if the logical test false, we need to add another value. So we have a logical test. If it is true, this one, we add a value. Otherwise we add another value. So now here, depending on our question, I said here marks if the computer marks less than or equal 49. So computer marks, click that here. I want to check that we have logical test should be greater than or less than or equal, as I said. So now here, if this computer D2 less than or equal 49, depending on the question, so less than or equal 49, this one is logical test, right? Now add comma here. You can see now value if true. If this one is true, if D2 less than or equal 49, I need to do what? I said in the question, I need to add if. So here, inside quotation marks like this, you can add if, only if. Here we add a quotation marks because we have a static value. It is not changeable, just a static value, just a fixed value, not like a formula. If you have a formula, you don't need to add the quotation marks. But if you have to write something like this, fixed value, it's not changing, static value, so we need to add the quotation marks. Now here, if this one true, add if, right? Comma. Otherwise, if it is false, if the value, here the test is false, we need to add what? P. Because they said if it is greater than, which means false, not less than, add P. So in the quotation marks as well, we have to add P. And close it again, and then close the bracket. So now if function, the first part here, the first parameter, we need to add a logical test. Here we said the computer less than or equal 49, depending on the question here. If it is correct, if it is true, we need to add something, which is F, because I said here F in the result. Otherwise, if it is true, if it is false, sorry, add P. Here P. And enter. Now you can see, and you can drag. So you can see the first one here, 91, of course is greater than 50 or greater than 49, so it is P, right? Here 28 F because less than 49. printf. This is the first example. Now here it is a different. Here same thing, and the question I said here, I need what? If the average of the marks, here the average, we have 3 marks, mathematics and English and computer. So if the average of those marks greater than or equal 50, greater than or equal 50, we need to type pass here in the result. Otherwise, if the average of those marks less than 50, we need to type fail. So here equal a function. Here in the logical test, we need to add not only the computer, but need the average of marks. So in the average of marks, we already have a function which is average, right? So just type here average, because we need to test the average. Type the average here. Average of what? Average of those marks, 3 marks. So only selected, close the bracket. So now, if the average of those marks here is greater than or equal 50, so just greater than or equal 50. Because as I said before, logical test, we need to add greater than or equal or less than and so on. So now the average greater than or equal 50, I need to check that. If it is true, comma, if it is true here, I need to add what? Pass. So static value also, pass inside the quotation marks. Otherwise, if it is false, we need to add fail. And that is now I complete. The different here, just I add the function inside function, if function, and inside if function I add another function here, because I need to check the average of those numbers. And enter. Now I add it, and you can just drag to fill handle, and it will be like this, right? You can do that by other way. We can do the average by function or by formula, right? So now here by function we use the average function. You can do that same thing by formula. How to do that by formula? Only just add the brackets. So here the mathematics plus English plus what? Computer, which is C2, right? C2. If all of those divided by 3, the formula, you can add a bracket here as well, and add a bracket to open it and close the bracket. So here I said what? If those, the average, this one plus this one plus this one divided by 3, this is average, right? Same thing, but using formula, greater than or equal 50, type pass, otherwise we have to type fail. Same thing, but using formula. Enter, it will be same here. Another question here. Here I said what? If the attend, now we have an employees, for example, and the attend days and the absent days and the salary for each employee. And here we want to add to the salary, or maybe minus something from the salary, or remove something from the salary. So here, if the attend minus absent, if the attend minus absent is greater than or equal 15, if the attend minus absent is greater than or equal 15 days, I need to add 100 to his salary. Salary plus 100. Otherwise, if the attend days minus absent days less than 15, this one minus this one less than 15, I need to minus 100 from the salary. So here we have a formula in the logical test, and here we have a formula in the value if true and value if false. So also we have a formula. So now if function, if what? If the attend minus, if the attend minus absent, right? So here if you can open the bracket for attend minus, in the attend, this one, minus absent, close the bracket, what we said, greater than or equal 15, right? So greater than or equal 15, I need to do what? This is the logical test here, right? The first one, logical test, comma. If it is true, I need to do what? Not write pass or fail, not a static value here. Here we need to add another formula. For salary, we need to add, if it is true, we need to add salary plus 100. So salary here plus 100, comma. Otherwise, if it is false, if the attend minus absent less than 50, not greater than, if it is false, this one, we need to add also salary, which is what? D2, salary D2 minus 100 and close the bracket. So here we don't need to add, you shouldn't add like quotation marks like this, because this is a value, this is not a static value, it is a formula. Formula need to add, make calculation. So here I add, here we have a formula, right, in the logical test, and in the value if true we have another formula, and the value if false we have another formula. And now here, and everything good. It will be like this. And we have something called nested if. What I mean by nested if? Sometimes we have more than two choices. If you have only two choices, so we can just, if this one true, we need to do something. Otherwise, if it is false, we need to add another thing. Only two choices. So we can using if function, only one if. But now you can see here we have four choices. So how we can do that, or four options. So here, if you try to do that, if function, here I said what? If the marks here for student between 0 and 49, I need to type weak. If it is between 50 and 69, I need to type average. If it is between 70 and 89, we need to add good. If it is 90 and 100, we need to add excellent, right? So here you can say if function. Inside the if you have a logical test, which is what? The mark. The first one is the mark between 0 and 49. So we can say here the mark, if the mark, you can say between 0 and 49. So you can say just less than 50, right? It will be the same. So if the mark less than 50, which means between 0 and 49, we need to do what? We need to add, if it is true, we need to add weak, right? So just static value weak. Otherwise, if it is false, if it is not less than 50, maybe it will be average, maybe good, maybe excellent, right? So I cannot say here, for example, average. I cannot say that. I couldn't say that. Why? Because maybe it is not average, maybe it is good, maybe excellent, I don't know. I just only check the first one. The first one is less than 50. So if it is not less than 50, maybe it is between 50 and 69, maybe between 70 and 89, maybe between 90 and 100, right? So here we need to add another if function, because we have more than two choices. If you have two choices or more, we need to add if function. For each two choices, we need to add if function. So now another if, because we have three options, average or good and excellent. So add another if here, open it. Now again, if the same thing, the mark. Now between 50 and 69, right? So you can say less than 70. Same thing to between 50 and 69. If it is less than 70, we need to add what? If it is true, here, we need to add average. Like this. Otherwise, if it is false, I don't know, maybe it is between 70 and 89, and maybe it is between 90 and 100. So I cannot say good, because maybe it is excellent. So we have two options or two choices, so we need to add another if function. So add another one. Now, if the marks again less than, now 90, because between 70 and 89, so less than 90, you can say it like this. If it is true, we need to add good, right? Otherwise, if it is not good, I only have one option, so excellent. If you have two options, you need to add another if. But now if it is not like this, not less than 19, and not less than 70, not less than 50 or 90, now should be excellent. Now just close the first one, close the second one, close the third one. Here you can see the brackets black, which means you close everything. Now you can see if the B2, if the mark less than 50, we need to type if, we need to type weak. If less than 50. Now if it is true, type weak. If it is false, if it is not true, we need to check again. If it is less than 70, here, what I mean by less than 70, I mean between 50 and 69, because I already checked it is not less than 50. So here 70, which means between 50 and 69, because I say less than 70, and before that I check the less than 50. Now I need to type average, right? Otherwise, if it is false, maybe good, maybe excellent. So again, check it. If it is less than 90, we need to type good. Otherwise, type excellent. Now I complete everything. Enter. And here you can see. As you can see here, we have here week, got 34, 35, here excellence 97, here week 12, here 53, we have average, and so on. 81 for example, good, because between 70 and 89, and so on. So I hope you understand that. Try to review this video more than one time and try to practice in your computer, and thank you very much.